The Louie Bellina Show, Final Hour Tuesday. And Final Hour Tuesday means Olin Buchanan inside the Charles Schwab studio. Olin Buchanan of the TexAgs universe. Olin Buchanan, TexAgs Live. That's 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. The Go Hour every morning. You know, I was listening to you guys this morning. That should tell you how desperate I was to listen to something. And that's a joke. Everybody relax. I listen every morning as I drive in. And I thought it was a great question y'all had this morning. And it was very basic, but it was a great question about will we learn anything about Aggie football in the first month? And you and David were very no. You had a modified no, and it was, if so, it's negative.
That's been my position almost every year, because when we say, but see, this year I'm saying September, you're playing LSU in September.
And Kentucky and Arizona State. Normally in September, right? And at any time, you know that. Hey, we hang out. You tell me if I'm off. But a normal September, for most teams, is your 1AA, 2 teams ranked somewhere about 80 or worse, and you play 1 opponent in September. That's a normal schedule. But A&M has Arizona State, and no matter what you think of Kentucky, they're an SEC team with a new head coach that you're going to have no tape on, more or less. And LSU in Baton Rouge. This isn't a normal September.
No, I mean it's a tough schedule, all throughout, and it's you're gonna beat Missouri State or whoever it is.
You're calling your shot on that one?
Yeah,
it is Missouri State because the other one is Citadel later on. So,
right. But you're right. Usually you play both of those teams in the first month, and maybe.
Or you play New Mexico State and Missouri State.
Right. I was going to say, or maybe.
Or one SEC game total in the first month even equals a different version.
And it was usually Arkansas.
Yeah.
So I do think typically if you find out anything in September.
It's bad.
It's bad. Because if you don't go out and dominate in September, then why would I believe you're going to dominate in October, November?
And you can grow. But if you're not starting at the dominate spot, you don't grow into dominate. I feel like you grow into, they're not bad. There's levels that I think you can grow into.
Well, I referenced, and I couldn't remember the year. I know it was a Jimbo Fisher year, maybe his second year. I can't remember. But they opened, I believe, with Texas State. And they had a couple of instances where they were facing, 3rd or 4th and 1, or maybe 1st and goal from the 1.
Yeah.
And one time they didn't get it. Another time it took them like 3 or 4 tries to pick up the yard. And in the post-game press conference, Jimbo was saying, well, they were slanting and doing some things we weren't prepared for. And I'm like, they're Texas State. You're Texas A&M.
You line up, fire off, knock them 4 yards backwards. And if you can't do that against Texas State, slanting or not.
Why am I going to do it? Why am I going to believe you're going to do it against Alabama and LSU?
There you go.
So, but this year's a little bit different. I don't know how good Arizona State's going to be. I do think that they're going to be a legitimate team. I don't know if they're going to be
I think they're an 8-4 Big 12 team, and what does that mean to you? You figure out for yourself. But that's who I think they are.
Well, you're going to have to come up, show up ready to play.
There we go.
And Kentucky's a big question mark. Playing them here is obviously an advantage because playing at Kentucky can be dicey. Ask Texas last year. Maybe under Will Stein they'll play great on the road.
Allegedly, this is a Kentucky team that's vastly improved. They're going to make strides forward and play great offense. And when it all comes together, they might be 6-6. Yeah. So, might be 6-6 with all of this hype.
Yeah, everybody's with a new coach. Things are going to be different because of this.
But what does it tell you when the ceiling is 6? If all this genius comes together for Kentucky, how deep is their hole right now? It equals 6.
Expects them to lose to A&M. If you're going to win 6 games and only 6 games, I don't think you're looking at a team. Okay, we're going on the road early against a team that was in the playoff last year. That's a win. No one's marking that down. So, to me, the whole Rosetta Stone. What I can read and I can look at and understand it's going to reveal is the LSU game. You'll be a third of the way into the season, and it doesn't answer all the problems, or it doesn't show all the strengths necessarily. But I think if you're playing your fourth game on the road at LSU, you're going to be really challenged. And how you handle that is going to give me will give you a really good idea of what to expect moving forward. I don't know if going out and winning by 2 touchdowns over Arizona State, even though I think they're a legit opponent, I don't know if that's going to give me a real good feel of what to expect moving forward. The same with Kentucky. But if I'm able to go over to LSU, and I said win Arizona State by 10 or 14, if I go to LSU and win it by 10 or 14, then I'm going to leave thinking, okay, I still got work to do, but this is a team that can really contend for the playoff again.
I thought Shireen made a good point, and it was a straight kind of point in that watching Marcel Reed, accuracy is regardless of the opponent. Either you see the open receiver and hit him or you don't. That's nothing to do with the opponent, though.
My only issue with that was that, he missed some open guys early, and he hit deep. We were all talking about him having trouble hitting the deep ball. But then he started hitting the deep ball. And we started seeing him consistently hitting the deep ball at about the Florida game. The second play of the game, I think, was a 50-yard completion to Craver. He threw some deep balls at, I want to say, Missouri. I know he had a deep ball against Miami, and they squandered the opportunity to score. I just saw him. I felt like he kind of answered that question.
And I think he had accuracy problems all years, and he missed simple throws throughout the year. Even if he started to hit deep, he would miss first down and 10, a guy at 5 yards, and throw it low, high, wide.
I think the biggest knock on him early was he wasn't hitting that deep ball, and he had some guys open, and she was referring to that one where a guy was wide open. It was KC wide open deep, and he didn't hit him. So that was the big knock on him early. But
and you mentioned negative, and you're right about it, though. I mean, if you win your first couple of games and they're all 2-score wins, I think that's a positive statement because you're not playing bums.
You have to score 50 against Missouri State.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Like you win that by 50. But you say 2 scores against an 8-4 Big 12 team, ASU, I take that as a positive. Yeah. Even a Kentucky, 2 scores again.
But does it give you how much? If you see them win, if let's say they beat Arizona State. And we don't know what Arizona State. We have. Guesses.
What if they go on to be 4-8? Right? I know.
But if they beat Arizona State 28-14, 35-21, or something, even 34-17, do you leave the stadium saying, "Okay, we can"? Based on what I'm saw, micro. We can win the.
You know me. I'm micro. I'm going to judge the accuracy of the throws by Marcel with a brand new 4 new offensive linemen. I want to see how many pre-snap penalties, post-snap penalties, dead ball penalties. I want to see how many blown calls on the O-line. It's things like that when I'm going to judge. That's really the truth.
I'm not going to mention the name, but there's one guy that has moved on that I think they'll be better in that regard just because I think he was the culprit in most of those pre-snap penalties.
But that's the thing. I'm with you, but I want to see that be true. See, and then confirm it's true. And then see if all of them, because things like that, no blown coverage calls and things, means you're getting it. And Adam Cushing, the one thing he did, which I thought was godlike, he took one of the worst O-lines I've ever seen in A&M history, my time watching, and with one offseason only, which is the spring and summer, made them good. I don't know if they were the best.
23-24.
Yeah. And he made them good.
Yeah.
Same players.
It was remarkable.
So the fact that they have the 4 new, they all have SEC experience. Some of them kind of lost their positions with the teams they were. That was your latest weather update. Again, the strength of the rain and now the length of the rain. Just be smart, be safe. If you have a question, the answer is no and don't. That's just the easiest way to look at it. We were talking, Olin Buchanan joining me, Louie Bellina, here on the Louie Bellina Show presented by CC Electric. And we're just kind of talking about what we can learn in the first month. I thought it was a fascinating conversation. And I do think there's positives. 4-0, perfect start as you're transitioning. Because for A&M, and it's one of the things I have to remind myself, heavy transition here. Front 7D, 4 or 5 in the O-line. No matter how much confidence we have, because I do in Cushing, without a doubt, and I look at the experience they brought in, it's transition.
We still got to see it, right? That's what I always say. I've got to see it with my own eyes. I've too often in the past. Last year, I was at SEC Media Days. I asked Brian Kelly, who had lost 4 offensive linemen all drafted. I asked, what do you think? What's your outlook, your thoughts on this offensive line having to replace 4 guys, including Will Campbell, who's the 4th player taken in the draft. And he goes on and on about, they went heavy into the portal, how everybody looks good, everybody's playing well, they're getting it, coming together, and I have no worries about the offensive line.
But he didn't say why.
He just said he felt great about it.
At least with A&M, I told you my why.
But my point is, the weakness of that team, the number one weakness of that team was the O-line. And there were plenty of reasons why they finished 7-6, but I think that is where you would start. And A&M is in a similar position in that they're replacing 4 offensive linemen that were all taken in the draft. Now, none of them were the 4th player taken. None of them were taken in the first round. But the point is, those were 4 guys that NFL people think have NFL ability.
Talent, yeah.
So, how are they going to? Are you going to be like LSU, or are you going to be like somebody else that just reloads?
Well, we're going to find out.
That's
and it's also setting the tone for the future.
And that's why I say I've got to see it with my own eyes, because in the past we've seen people tell us how good somebody was going to be or some area, and then they just weren't. I'm not saying that's the case with Elko. I'm saying in the past. So I've just learned to wait until I actually see it.
How much of
David Nuno and I about 6 years ago had on a guy from Arkansas before the season started. And they were coming off a good year, but they were losing a bunch of their offensive linemen. And this guy says, and he was a guy who covered Arkansas, but not crazy guy, or we wouldn't have had him on.
Crazy guy. Can I quote you on that?
One of those guys that just, no matter what, he's going to, the
Homer.
sunshine.
It's called Homer.
Yeah, but everybody's a little bit of a Homer. But
take that back.
Somebody or just some of the guys just, are out of control. Anyway, this guy was not one of the out of control guys, but I asked him about offensive line. He says, yeah, they got a lot of guys to replace, but Sam Pittman is such a great offensive line coach. He had an incredible resume. And he said, I don't really worry about the offensive line because I feel confident that Sam's going to put together a really good one. Well, that year, the offensive line wasn't good. So no matter how good the coach is, sometimes the talent's just not there.
Good craftsman in his materials?
Yeah.
Right?
You got to have them.
If you're at Alabama and Georgia, that statement holds true because they always have the players. When you're not at one of those S-tier programs, your coaching resume is not as shiny because you don't have the materials. And you can't make something out of nothing.
So what I wonder about is A&M, are those new? Because to me, that's the number one area of concern.
O-line.
Fair.
Fair.
Or maybe concern's not even the right word. Curiosity.
Okay, I'm good with either phrase.
Because I think how good that offensive line is may determine how good that team is.
There's a list of, and I'm going to say concerns, not grave, not dire. I want to moderate that. The things I need to see. We don't know Holman Wiggins as a play caller.
Okay.
That's I'm not doubting it though. See, that's the thing. I'm not sitting there going like we're doomed.
I'm going to have an open mind.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. So there's other things. O-line's number one with a bullet by itself in its own tier. Everything after that is stuff we just need to see in action because it's one thing to play call even in the first month, but man, week 8, week 9, people get tape on you. They're going to track your tendencies. Under 30 seconds left in Tuscaloosa. Man, it's all a new universe.
What's that game they play with psychiatrists? That's one word. You're supposed to say the first word.
The word association?
Yeah. So I'm going to do that with you. And I'm going to go by the position groups.
Double pepperoni with extra cheese.
I'm going to go by the position groups. And
mac and cheese.
You can only answer better, worse, or the same.
Okay, back from the break, I'll do it.
Sure.
That work for you?
Yeah.
Tacos. Oh, sorry. We'll be right back. It is the Louie Bellina Show. Inside the Charles Schwab studio, Olin Buchanan, TexAgs Live, TexAgs.com. It's a Tuesday thing here on The Zone.
Your source for all Aggie inside. TexAgs Live breaks it down daily.
Hell yeah!
On the Zone 1150 AM and 93.7 FM.
Olin Buchanan time, though. I didn't mean to take up your time, Olin.
No.
Olin's looking at me like, dude, no one cares about puppies and kittens. What is that about? Everybody loves puppies and kittens.
Oh, sure. I love dogs especially, but I like cats too. I just was kind of, reacted, recoiled because you mentioned with all this weather, and then said, I can't wait for Katrina to get here. I'm saying again.
Not that one. You know the story, how I was in New Orleans the day before the levees broke, right?
I did not know that.
You didn't?
No.
Okay, you remember word association. We'll get there. Okay. The quick version of my story, and I'm doing me quick because I used to go down to New Orleans the week before players reported. It was my getting ready, the final step before the Aggie football season.
All right.
Well, do you remember when all that happened? It was like August, end of July. So me and my best friend, we traveled down to New Orleans. And, okay, the hurricane was not hitting New Orleans or Louisiana originally when it started. But the more we drove, kept getting updates from friends going, it looks like it's shifting. Look like this and that. We were in New Orleans as all this happened. We were part of the people that got evacuated out on Sunday when all the traffic only went to Texas. Okay. Sunday morning, I woke up, left my hotel room, and this woman stopped me and said, hey, we're from New Hampshire, Connecticut. Could you give me and my mom a ride? And I'm like, where are you going? The airport in Houston. I'm like, I don't know them strangers. It's a little scary, but the desperation in her eye. And she even said, look, don't worry about me. Can you at least take my mom? And at that point, it's like, I'm not separating you two. So we picked up two passengers.
Way to go.
It took, because, you'd stand still for 2 hours at a time on the roads in New Orleans on that Sunday, heading out of Louisiana into Texas. I saw things I don't ever want to see again. It was horrible. 14 hours to get to Houston, something like that. Dropped them off. I don't know if it's 3:34 in the morning before finally getting back to College Station.
Wow. What an experience. But aren't you glad you did it?
Yeah. Oh, no. Yeah, absolutely.
One more day, it'd have been a lot worse.
Yeah. And then the next day, everything happened in New Orleans, right? But the levees broke and the destruction started. So, yeah, I remember that hurricane very well.
Wow, I bet. Yeah. I was just being Felicia.
Oh, I know. Just sometimes, every so often, remember back, and that was a long day and a half.
Yeah. I've had some days just trying to get through Houston. It felt like 14 hours.
Yeah, Houston traffic now, can he be worse than ever? Word association, what do you want to do?
All right. I'm just going to say the position. You tell me better, worse, the same.
All right.
Your projection. Quarterback. Better, worse, or the same?
Worse.
Okay. Running backs.
Worse.
Receivers, and that includes tight ends. Okay. Offensive line.
Worse.
Okay. Defensive line.
Worse.
Linebackers.
Worse.
And secondary.
Better.
Okay. Kicking game.
Better.
Yeah. Heck yeah. So with all that in mind, what would your predicted finish be?
Well, okay, this ties into something I was going to ask you.
Okay.
And A&M made CBSSports.com's list of 10 teams that will, underperform their totals from last year. Okay. A&M was 11. They're 8.5 over under like everything, DraftKings, FanDuel, you name it, right? Mm-hmm. And I was going to ask you your thoughts on that, right?
I think that 8.5 is fair because...
by the way, the Aggie Humane Society, Karina. I think I said Katrina. I'm blew it, but anyway.
Well, whatever.
Yeah.
We really wasn't trying to suggest that Karina was, a disaster, but she can't be. She's,
she's awesome
for dogs and cats. But I think to set the line at 8.5 is fair. I believe that if you ask me today, mid-July, what your record prediction is for A&M, I would have to say 8-4. And you say, why? Well, I said it earlier. I hear good things going on with the offensive line. I hear good things. I hear people say, "Yeah, look, this guy's going to be better than you think, and we really like this guy." And quite frankly, it's really the difficult part is replacing the left side. I think we agree on that.
Oh, the right side will probably be better. You and I have talked about this, actually.
Right. So,
don't you? I mean, if you don't, but don't we both think the right side will be better?
Or at least the same. But yeah, could very well be better.
Less penalties?
Could very well. Anyway, so my point is, once I see the offensive line, if I see the offensive line looking like it's going to be a genuinely effective offensive line, then I say 10-2, 9-3, 10-2. I would take the over. But until I get to see the offensive line, I don't know. I'd have to say 8-4. So that's why I think 8-5 is a really fair number to start with, because I know you don't feel the same way. I feel pretty good actually about A&M's defensive front. I don't know if they're going to be as deep, but I think they're going to be pretty much the same on the defensive front. I like their interior linemen. I loved what I saw from Landon Rink when he played last year. I feel like DJ Sanders is going to be a good player. Hicks already is. So,
by the way, when I say worse, I hope people don't think I said awful,
right,
garbage. That's not the definition of worse. Right. It's just worse than.
Not it, yeah. So, and the linebackers, the next area where I'm concerned, because Damian Sanford. But they're sending him to SEC Media Days where he's going to be asked about his health. So I don't know, does that kind of suggest to you or make you think that maybe he's going to be back faster than we feared?
No.
Okay.
I think Elko just sent captains. He's a captain.
Okay. Well, maybe, and that might be the case.
I got a great text message for you.
Let's hear it.
It says, didn't OB just have us going undefeated last week?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'll say.
I remember it.
I'm saying that, hey, if you're just going to be the fan and say, hey, what are we going to pick? Oh, I'm going to pick them to go 12-0. Why concede a game in July, right? Why concede a game ever? Yeah, I was being facetious that day.
It was fun.
It's going to be hard to see anybody come out of the SEC. That includes Georgia, Texas, or anybody going undefeated.
First time,
especially with 9 games
in expansion. Oh, first time in the CFP era. I forget the exact wording of the statement, but like first time in the CFP era, there's no win total that's double digits for the SEC. Well, it's something like that, because 9.5 is Georgia, Texas, which is stunning since Georgia will be preseason top 10 and Texas will be 1-2.
You know, I used to tell my reporter friends over in Austin when Texas wasn't in the SEC, and I'd go over to do a luncheon every year. They'd have me representing, A&M media and some guys.
Yep.
And it would invariably, they only play 8 conference games, the Big 12 plays, and I'd tell them, I said, you don't get it. In the SEC, the bad teams are good.
Correct.
And if you're not ready to play, you will lose. And they have all come around to why I say, okay, yeah, you're right.
So let me ask you, is that still true now that the SECs went to 16? Do you think the bottom is now bottomer?
Yeah.
Is it still true?
Yeah, I do. And I'll tell you, who was the worst team in the SEC last year?
Kentucky? No? Am I right on that?
Maybe Kentucky, and Texas had to get lucky to pull one out there. Mississippi State wasn't very good.
Oh, they had that. Actually, her name is Katrina.
Oh, okay.
Aguilera.
Well, she's not a disaster.
Ongoing story. Nah, she's awesome. But, okay, did you watch that game? I remember I was lucky enough, however, I got to watch it.
I was probably covering
I'm still so confused where Kentucky's OC decided to run the ball, and A&M knows about it.
Right?
But they did it twice. They butchered the end of that game. Regulation, they butchered it in overtime. They called a timeout to study their options and decided run mid yet again for like the 9th time in 11 plays.
Right.
I mean, Kentucky they worked so hard to end up losing a game that they inspirationally rallied with them against Texas.
Florida was 4-8.
Yeah, they were awful.
Texas lost there. And it's not just Texas. I mean, teams go on the road in the SEC, and you're thinking you're playing a team that you're going to walk over, and you lose. So
yeah, because every SEC team, the secret is, has like an NFL player on it. You don't go against teams in other leagues that are 1-11, and they're a bad one for an 11. They're not just that bad. They're really bad for that bad. Because in the SEC, the worst teams still have NFL players.
So that's the point. And so I do think it's going to be very difficult for anybody to be going undefeated. It'll happen maybe once every 4 or 5 years, I'm betting. But it's not going to be a consistent thing, I don't think.
Yeah, I agree with that base statement, and especially when you have an SEC title game. So you can do the 12-0, but then you're still going to have to win one more. There's one more chance to take the L.
Yeah, I wonder how long that's going to be around.
I've spoken about my prediction of the future where all title games go away, and it'll be college football playoff qualifier weekend. Each league will have 4 automatic bids. 1 and 2 take the auto, and then 3, 4, 5, 6 play and take the last 2 spots.
By the way, I think the quarterback's going to be better. I think the running backs are going to be about the same. I think the receivers.
You didn't say I could say Sam.
Huh?
You didn't say I could say Sam.
Yeah, I did.
What?
I said better, worse, or same.
I'm okay. Can we do it again?
Sure.
I didn't know same was an option.
Okay, quarterback.
Same.
Running back.
Same.
Receivers.
Better.
That's interesting discussion. Offensive line.
Worse.
Defensive line.
Worse.
Linebackers.
Worse.
I'd say same. Now that I think about it. And
with injury. No returning starter.
If Damian Sanford plays a significant amount, same.
But yeah, I agree with that statement. I'm just going off of maybe he starts playing at the end of the first month and then he's 100% in November.
That's fair.
Yeah, that's my projection. So therefore, that's how I have to make that statement.
Even though I have liked what I have seen, and it's a small sample size, but when Noah McHale plays, I really like what I've seen from him. And I think, who knows, maybe once he gets extended playing time, maybe he's going to be what Damian Sanford turned out to be last year. And I'm very intrigued about Ray Coney, who is really good at Tulsa. Is that going to transfer to A&M?
The same at quarterback is fine with me. It's the same at running back that's very blah to me.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll take a time out. We'll come back. Olin Buchanan inside the Charles Schwab studio. Oh, by the way, anybody could text. Olin and I are having fun. Everybody's welcome to participate.
Welcome to the party.
979-693-1150. Light up the Texas Mobile and Lube Express inbox. At Texas Mobile and Lube Express, they keep it simple. Be good to your car, and your car will be good to you. You know how you be good to your car? You take it to Texas Mobile and Lube Express. It's the Louie Bellina Show on the Zone.
Visit zone1150.com and you can sign up for the Zone newsletter. Check out the Zone prize rules and download podcasts of your favorite shows on the Zone. Never miss out.
Not much summer left, is there, Olin?
Oh, come on. Summer in Texas lasts until about November.
Well, we're not talking about the heat. We're just, in my world, we're just talking about, summertime's kind of rolling along, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's been summer technically for about 4 weeks.
Aggie football is at 7 Saturdays or 8?
I think it's the next one will make it. I think it's 8. Yeah. I think it's 8 Saturdays too.
Oh, we're so close. Finish line is here. Next week is SEC Media Days. Had a question that I wanted to bring to you. It was a question I asked everybody, first hour, because we knew the players that are going. They had that announcement like 10 o'clock hour today on a Tuesday. Within the boundaries that coaches and players will actually answer, what do you want to know next week? What do you want to hear? What do you want to ask the A&M contingent? Within the boundaries of reality.
One of the things I want to know is what, over the course of the offseason, what have they figured out to solve the running game problem? I'm talking about defensively. The long run problem. A&M's given up, I think, 21, like maybe it's 41 runs of like 30 yards or more over the last 2 seasons. I think it was after the Miami game. I'm going to have to go back probably tomorrow and try to find this quote. But Mike Elko was talking about it because remember, Mark Fletcher, they've been doing a great job defensively all day, and then boom, there was the 70-yard run or whatever it was. And he said, we got to figure out what we're doing. We're not fitting the gaps, but why aren't we? We got to look and see if we're coaching, if we need to coach it differently, and all those things. So, You've had spring football. You've had an off season. What have you found? Was it just a matter of players not getting it, and you just got to get some players that can get it? Was there something you got to coach? You know, is it not with the linebackers? Is it what progress has been made? Because let's think about it. If you don't give up the long run there, maybe you win that game. Because if you get out, I'm thinking at the time, I think they're at the 16. Miami's at the 16. Hey, you get a stop. They're punting. You get the last chance with the ball, and maybe you get in field goal range with a chance to win it. So I think that's. I try to think, what do my readers and listeners want to ask, and what's going to affect the outcome of the game. I don't want to ask too many softballs. I want to ask why you can feel, in different areas, why you can feel good about the upcoming season.
The question I came up with, and I don't know, I want to listen, and I guess with two defensive players there, maybe, I want to get a feel for who Lyle Hemphill is. I want to know if he's a screamer. I want to know if he's stone cold assassin. Because, there's been a lot of talk around Holman Wiggins. Mm-hmm. I want to know who Lyle Hemphill is.
Yeah, I would like to know that too. But to me, that's interesting. What little bit we get to see, he didn't seem to be, a raging screamer or anything like that. He seemed to be under control. But you never know what it's like after those first 20 minutes when they send us out.
I always feel like that in that part, everyone out there knows the media's there.
Right.
So.
A lot of things about Marcel and his improvement I want to ask him about. Everybody's going to ask Damian Sanford about his health and the linebacker situation. And they're going to ask, here's the problem. You want to ask a player about a player.
You're always going to hear it's the greatest of all time.
Right.
Yep, I know.
And I get
that's what I mean within the boundaries of reality. Because you're going to ask, who's stepping up at linebacker? He's going to list every linebacker on the roster. That's how it works.
And if you ask about somebody individual, hey, Noah McHale. Oh, man, that guy's great, man. So, and maybe he is. Maybe he's not lying. But I've never once heard a guy say,
he's a bum.
He's a bum. You're right.
He's a bum. He's the best we got, but it's not going to work.
So I try to steer away from those kind because even if it's the truth, I can't take it for granted. Because what else are they going to say? You're not going to throw your teammate under the bus.
Oh, no. That's my point.
Here's what I plan to ask Marcel. And I don't know if we've had this conversation before. The first thing I want to say, hey, Marcel, if there's one from last year, one of your plays that stands out that when you think about it, you think about it ever, more than others. What's the play that comes to mind from last year in your mind? And if he says, is he going to tell me, you know what, that touchdown to beat Notre Dame? Is he going to tell me that 40-yard run for the first touchdown against LSU? Man, is he going to say, is he going to say it's a play I missed? Is he going to say it was an interception? What is it going to be? And how should you interpret it by his answer? Like if he says the run against LSU, I'm thinking, well, does that make you want to run more? Be more.
Man, you are just creating landmines for yourself.
Why is that landmine for myself?
Because what the answer and then what the answer means. This is like doing therapy.
Well, that's when you're going to write a column.
Oh, I know. This is awesome, but it's funny too. You get it, right?
Yeah.
Like the question, but then which one he chooses.
But I'm not trying to lead him.
No.
Your answer, and then I want to have a follow-up question. Last year I was around Arch Manning, and I asked him the first question. I just said, hey, what do you think about all this Heisman Trophy hype already? And he was great. He said, I don't deserve it.
Nope. He was honest with you.
Yeah.
I've done nothing. He said that.
Yeah, he did. So I just want to ask, hey, Marcus Ratcliffe, what's the deal with the lack of interceptions? You had 3 yourself 2 seasons ago. Last year, the whole team had 3. What's the deal? What do you have to do to get more? Do you need to get more? Y'all still won 11 games with only 3 interceptions. Does it even matter? Is that something y'all even discuss?
Do you think it's because of what they're asked to do in relation to what the front seven's being asked to do?
No, I think they just missed some opportunities last year.
If they would have cashed in the opportunities, does 3 become 6 and 6 is enough?
Well, if they would have cashed in all their opportunities, 3 probably became 10 or 11.
Okay. Double digits would work.
But
Double digits would work.
But you know what? I say that. Every team misses interception opportunities. 2 plays before Marcel threw the touchdown pass to beat Notre Dame. 2 plays before that, there was could have been an interception, but Notre Dame didn't make plays.
Notre Dame looks back at that game. How many what ifs? If they make the extra point, if they don't drop the pick, I mean,
but A&M can do the same thing because there were some times when
that's how football goes.
Yeah, that's how football is, right? But anyway, so those. What do you think? Well, you have any questions? Maybe I would ask that I haven't thought of.
No, because I know the answers already.
Okay.
No, I mean seriously, no. I know all the answers they would give.
What do you think Marcel's going to say when I ask him what play from last season maybe stands out to you more than any of them?
He will compliment one of his receivers on a catch they made. He won't call his play. He'll call the play of someone else.
Well, I didn't say your play. I said the play.
No. He's going to – well, there was a catch that X made that it's going to be something like that. We'll compliment someone else in his answer.
Maybe not.
Yeah, I think it's a great question, by the way.
I think the only
best question I could think of.
The only thing I ever want from a guy is just to give an honest answer. And one of the things I love that they do with the SEC that maybe they do with the Big 12 now, but back when I covered the Big 12, they would have the player sitting next to the coach at a podium when you're asking the player something, and you might ask him something involving the coach. Well, what's he going to say? The coach is sitting right there. Now, they never are going to trash the coach, but they may be saying, yeah, I'd rather we do this. And the SEC, at least, they're all separated, and you get a chance to get some honest answers. Because I've seen things where guys have been about to answer a question, honestly, and you've seen this too, and they've been, shut up. Hey, well, okay, we're not going to take that question.
For me, the best questions leave breathing room for them to answer what they want to say. That's how I've always tried to approach questions.
I thought the best answer to a question, not in that way, but one time Kellen Mond was asked the question. He said, I'm the best quarterback in the SEC. I don't believe it. I don't think he should have said it. But you know what? He gave an honest answer to what he thought.
Dude, I'll visit with you next week. Right. Olin will be at SEC Media Days. We will visit with him live from. Thank you, brother.
Yep.
Up next, Community Spotlight. Aggieland Humane Society joins me here on the Louie Bellina Show on the Zone.
The Money Machine. Back to school. It's your chance to win $5,000. And it starts July 27th.
Thank you so much.
Here's Brad Beard of Intercon.
I was in a store and heard a child tell her mother, "This one must be better because it costs more." What a naive concept. Do adults sometimes fall into a similar trap? Recently, I've had customers tell me they have received a competitor's bid, which was 5 to 10 times as expensive as Intercon's quote for new windows. Are they really getting the right value proposition? Fortunately, Energy Star certification provides a set of uniform metrics to quickly compare the thermal efficiency of windows. Windows have 3 basic components: frame material, insulated glass, and balance mechanisms. How reliable is each component, and are costs associated with a warranty claim? Finally, the experience of the installers can make a huge difference in the final product. They install windows for a living, or they subcontract it for the day. Intercon sells Energy Star certified windows with industry-leading warranties installed by our own full-time employees. Why pay more if you can get everything you need at a fair price from a locally owned business?
Whether you have new construction or an existing home, let Intercon help your home energy efficiency year-round. Call Brad Beard of Intercon at 823-3639.
DraftKings is live in all 50 states. Yes, that means you, Texas. The Cup is down to its final matches. One trophy, one champion. DraftKings has you covered for every single one. The DraftKings app is now live in Texas, so whether you're catching the early kickoff before work or late match at the bar, you're in on every minute, every match, every moment, all in one app. Right here in Texas, the world's biggest stage in the palm of your hand. New DraftKings customers sign up with code KZNEAM, spend $5 to get $200 and total rewards over 21 days. That's code KZNEAM. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Event trading offered by DraftKings Predictions, a CFTC registered introducing broker. Trading involves risk of loss. Market availability varies. Eligibility restrictions apply. $50 every 7 days via click to claim issued and Non-withdrawable predictions dollars that expire in 1 year. Ends July 19th. Terms dkng.co/predictions promo.
Right now, you're listening to local radio from a local company, Bryan Broadcasting. It's free, everywhere, and trusted. It's a companion to help get you through your day. And by listening, you're helping to keep dollars right here in our community. Your friends and neighbors are listening too. In fact, 93% of all adults in the U.S. listen to radio each month, making it the top-reaching media platform in the country. Visit BryanBroadcasting.com and click Advertise to put the power of local radio to work for your business.
This is your home for Aggie football, basketball, and baseball. It's the Zone 1150 AM and 93.7 FM. Listen on the Zone app or online at RadioAggieland.com or tell Alexa, play Zone 1150.
Play Zone 1150.
Listen live on your phone, smart speaker, computer, or the Zone app. Powered by Loyalty Plumbing, where craftsmanship and loyalty is their business. Visit LoyaltyPlumbingLLC.net. Take the Zone and your favorite teams and shows with you wherever you go.